There's a ton of unconfirmed transactions. I don't even know if the Bitcoin network has caught up, but yesterday it was reported that there were so many unconfirmed transactions, over 500,000. So Binance decided to just pause its withdrawals altogether, because even if you try to withdraw with so many unconfirmed transactions, you would be waiting for a long time anyways, right? So they decided proactively to just pause to kind of let the network catch up before going, right? But since then, they opened up and then paused for a second time, and now they seem, I think they're back. They're allowing withdrawals again, but Binance is integrating the Lightning Network. I believe they may be the only exchange that's doing this right now, because if you integrate a Lightning Network, well, it kind of solves this problem. Lightning Network is a L2 for Bitcoin. It shares the consensus, but it does use a secondary network to transfer Bitcoin between destination A and destination B. And it does so much faster, and much less fees are charged. So that would actually solve all of the issues. But I don't believe it's done yet. And I don't believe any other exchange is doing this yet. And some people are wondering if it's the integration that's causing the problem. Okay, well, here's Binance's answer. Basically, telling people, hey, everything is good. There's just a ton of transactions right now. Crazy amount of transactions. And here's the explanation. Okay. Most people think it has to do with the new standard, BRC20 standard. Okay, right now you can see that, yeah, the fee per block is crazy high right now. So the miners are making a crazy amount trying to process all these transactions. But the reason why BRC20 may be congesting the network is because of, number one, ordinals. NFTs are getting really hot. Number two are the meme coins. Because of Pepe, there's a ton of meme coins now coming out on top of Bitcoin using BRC20 tokens, which you can access and you could view and buy and sell using this new wallet called Unisat. So Unisat right now, as of 1 hour ago, is facing tech issues due to skyrocketing demand. So I believe this is the reason why. It's because now, due to the popularity of Pepe and resurgence of meme coins, like literally every day there's a new meme coin coming out, and people are speculating on them, right? Now there's a lot of attention on BRC20 instead of ERC20. Mass majority is on Ethereum, but there are a lot that's coming out on Bitcoin's network, right? So this is actually one of the reasons why Bitcoin maxis do not want NFTs or meme coins on top of Bitcoin, because it could lead to this. The blocks is 10 minutes for Bitcoin, right? So in 10 minutes, it can only process so many transactions. If it cannot, you have to wait another 10 minutes, and then another 10 minutes, and then another 10 minutes, right? So as you can see, yeah, it could add up to a long time if there are a ton of transactions or inscriptions to the block, okay? But I believe this is the reason. And you could argue if this is bad, but I would argue this is good because, again, it's bringing more utility to the network and bringing a lot more excitement to the network. And for Bitcoin maxis that think that Ethereum is bad and it's a security or whatever, right? You're getting the same kind of like movement of the things that are on Ethereum now moving to Bitcoin. So even as a maxi, you should appreciate that. This makes Ethereum, well, it makes dApps rely on Ethereum less, so to speak, right? So if you think about it that way. But overall, is this attack on Bitcoin? I mean, I saw some theories about how governments may be trying to attack Bitcoin, or maybe Binance is doing something fishy. There's always FUD about Binance, right? But I think it's just due to the popularity of memes right now. You guys know Bitcoin is struggling a little bit with transactions, right? Transactions through the roof, mostly because of BRC20, this new protocol that allows NFTs and meme coins to come out and exist on Bitcoin's blockchain. A lot of people are still talking about it. Transaction fees now range anywhere from $10 to $20, right? This is bringing up the same scenario that happened in 2017 when there were a lot of congestion. People didn't know what to do, right? And that's why Lightning Network was created. Lightning Network was created for the sole purpose of making things cheaper and processing the transactions off-chain, right? So that's why exchanges like Binance are looking to implement Lightning Network, and everyone else should, and wallet makers, right? They've been slow in adopting. So one of the things that we can do right now to kind of alleviate that traffic, but again, that's why we're in Bitcoin. And that's why retail accumulation now is exceeding the monthly production. And of course, this makes sense. This is the reason why Bitcoin goes up, because you have more buyers than sellers, and there's not enough supply, right? There's only so many, I believe 900 Bitcoins get produced per day. 900. And if you think about all the banks and financial apps and the Michael Saylors of the world, right, including the miners also, that are just buying and hoarding, there's really, I would argue, very little new Bitcoins, ones that have no transactions hitting the market. Everything that you're trading, right, has a history basically, because all the new ones are just taken up. That's why, like, supply, even though it seems like there's more Bitcoin coming into circulation, there really isn't. It's all taken, spoken for. So everyone's fighting for what exists now. Just think about that. Just think about that. If any other industry, like the oil industry or the gold industry, fishing industry, whatever industry, announces that, hey, we're going to run out for sure within the next 10, 20 years, think about how much the price of those industries, right, the prices within those industries will go up and skyrocket by. And I have a clip for you guys. He thinks differently, very differently. In fact, it's not what I expected at all.
So I think that what happened with ordinals and NFTs is we crossed this chasm from what was a bearish scenario to a bullish scenario. If I was a miner, I would be ecstatic. I think that long term, there are a lot of implications. Long term, the implication is there's going to be a lot of applications on the Bitcoin base layer. Yeah, if I can inscribe a piece of art, right, an NFT is kind of an art, but I could also inscribe my last will and testament, and if my last will and testament is moving $1 billion from me to you, how much is it worth to you to have that burned onto the blockchain and cryptographically verified?
Saylor is thinking about the bigger picture, right? The whole interview, he actually talks about how he supports anyone to create anything, right? He may not recommend it, but he supports it. But the fact remains, you can expand upon this. NFTs is not just silly pictures. You could do contracts, you could do wills, and he talks about business contracts. He talks about what if you needed to send a contract that's worth $1 billion from one country to another. What better network to put it on than Bitcoin's network, right? So Michael Saylor is actually thinking about the bigger pictures. So he thinks ordinals, inscriptions on top of Bitcoin's network is a good thing. Is a good thing. And that blew my mind. I honestly thought Saylor would be really against this because, you know, he's kind of conservative in his ways with Bitcoin especially. Today's the PPI. Yesterday's CPI. Most people look at a CPI. Well, the PPI actually shows that inflation actually went down. Yesterday's CPI also said so, but mostly it's just due to energy coming down. Everything else, commodities are still way higher than before, right? So I said it was like it was good, but it wasn't spectacularly good. So that may be the reason why yesterday the market kind of started good, then kind of ended even, and now today is kind of like bad again. But what's going on is PacWest is tumbling once again. Look at it. It's down 25%, not even 20% after it reports that its deposits fell 9.5% just last week alone. Now, they still have billions upon billions, right? But the more the stock falls, it's like a cascading effect, right? Even though the stock price should have nothing to do with how much assets they hold. And there are a lot of analysts now saying that Bitcoin is going to fall to 25K. Like it has to, right? Whenever I see these kind of predictions, I'm like, it could come true or it may not come true. But there are a lot of people now saying, well, Bitcoin needs to hit 25K. And once it does, then it's ready to make the next leg up, right? So if that's true, fantastic.